You only need to see snippets of several little things and it's built trust, it's built respect, it's given you confidence. You're like, okay, these guys are not a fly-by company. I've got confidence and certainty in them. And you might do this over the course of 6 months with different types of things you build into your model that ultimately people, based on when they are ready to solve their problem, that you're there. This next segment, we're going to continue building on the building blocks, right? And ideally you walked in one way and by now maybe you're feeling about this big over here on the side, right? So maybe you came in this way and you're starting to feel greater marketing capacity, greater influence, greater traction. Ultimately, we're talking about how to grow 2 to 12x with your leads, appointments, and clients. In this segment, we're going to introduce you to the 5 core models for generating leads profitably, the best model for selling high-priced services, programs, and products, how to boost conversions without more staff or big budgets, how to get 390, 900% or more sales results by being cool to your clients, the Netflix and the NFL method to get more sales. You're not in the business of block, you're in the business if you want exponential profits and a whole lot more. Again, everything we're talking about fits under these 9 phases of the client journey and also fits under direct response branding, under vision, growth plan, connection campaigns, lead machines, education-based conversion events, and going deep along the way. Now, again, if you simply think of how do I expand my spokes in my wheel, or how do I get more lines in the water with these different things, and figuring out a way capacity-wise to implement them and execute them. You know, it's really not as complicated as most people have led you and I to believe. So there are 5 core models for success. So these images represent some of these models. I'm going to walk you through these as we go. So over on the left here, this represents the traffic you would run. And traffic is unlimited. There's literally unlimited traffic. And this is just a couple, but there's TV. And yes, TV still works. Direct mail still works. There's the phone, there's email, there's all kinds of methods to ultimately drive traffic into your models. Then typically what you'll have is a landing page where you drive people in almost any business using online stuff. Then you have offer pages. And usually there's 3 types of offer pages. There's a video page, there's a training page, and then there's an offer page, right? So one of those 3, and then ultimately it leads to the next page, which is we call a conversion page, right? It's either you're buying something or you're booking an appointment page. So hopefully that's pretty clear to you to just see there's really those 5 models. That's it, and a combination of them. Then on top of that, once a lead is created, so now they opt in for whatever you're offering. Now you follow up with them with email. You follow up with text. You follow up with phone. You can also run different types of what are called remarketing ads to bring them back. And you can go to those types of clients for literally pennies on the dollar comparatively because they've already hit your sweet spot on your site. So again, it fits under vision and growth plan, connection campaigns, lead machines, education-based conversion events. So with that, I want to talk about connection campaigns. And I'm going to go pretty high level through this pretty quickly. Then in the next section, we're actually going to walk through different types of connection campaigns, how to optimize your pages for conversions, and a whole lot more. So connection campaigns. Did you know that literally you can run campaigns on these different platforms, either organically, so it's not either or, it's an and. Organically and run ads for $1 a day, $2 a day for each of these platforms and get in front of your perfect clients that you would pick that are like demographic, psychographic, interest group, behavior groups, could even be your email list, etc. And you can put your ads in front of them for as little and or your content in front of them. So it could be an article, it could be a video for as little as about 2 cents to 10 cents per client. And you can do that all day. Like one of our clients is in the printing business, printing manufacturer. They're based out of Chicago. They're amazing. They print all of our stuff. They're amazing. Phil, how many views have we gotten to their connection campaigns? Like 3 million and some change? And you're on mute, so no worries.
Sorry,
So
I didn't have my thing down. Yeah, it's over 3.5 million.
yeah, 3.5 million for a manufacturing. And again, what is it doing? Trust, respect. They know you, trust you, respect you. And it's forging those relationships and just keeping them front of mind. It almost feels in a small way with, without big budgets, without being a big brand for this printing company, they feel like they're everywhere to those people at $1 to $2 a day. It's pretty simple, right? Next, lead machine campaigns, right? So you got traffic sources. Again, we've covered, a few of those. There's a landing page. They register. You've seen these before. Ultimately, even the Zoom page we set up had a landing page. It's a down and dirty version, right? Someone opts in and registers, and they go to an offer page or a thank you page historically. Now, I'm going to show you a couple samples of these in a second. But with this page, once they opt in, now you start communicating with them, right? You go deeper in the relationship. And again, you email them, you text them, you can phone them, you can put remarketing in front of them. Pretty simple, isn't it? And then imagine what would happen if you actually had strategic campaigns. So someone opts in and you did what we call a warm-up. Other people call it indoctrination. I don't like that term. Feels a little bit manipulative to me. So we call it warm-up. How do you warm your clients up? Like, what would you want all of your clients to see when they met you, to learn about you, to know how cool you are and how you can solve their problems? We call that warm-up. Typically, we recommend a 4 to 5 email sequence and 1 text message. That's it, right? So warm up. Then in addition, what if you also did something, because you don't just want to generate leads, although you do that and it's about building a relationship, but you also want to make offers. So we do another piece of this that's added into our model, which is called a raise hand campaign. What is a raise hand campaign? So basically an offer saying, hey, I'm doing that XYZ. Would you like to, are you interested? That's kind of it, right? I've got XYZ. Are you interested? If they're interested, you take them to the next step in your process, but you're only dealing with qualified prospects, and everybody's time cycle of what they are what is appealing to them will vary based on their own seasons in their life. You meet them where they're at. So when people ask us all the time, how often do I do a raise hand campaign? Well, ultimately, you'll probably get to a place that in every message, you'll have some version of a raise hand campaign, even if it's let's say William was on our list. If you're looking for a way to, solve some of the chronic pains in your back and in your shoulder, book a consultation. We're having remarkable results, and we're, doing a special promotion this month. So for someone who's got that issue specifically, that person might respond if they have that issue, right? The next message on Wednesday might be something related to knee problems or headaches, right? Different problems, different offer, but they all work to some degree in micro doses, right? You're going to get fragments of your market. You don't try to put one message that gets everybody. You do micro messages that, again, if you think back to maybe one of our original segments, you connect with them. That's what we're doing here. We're getting them on your list. You're moving them from out here to in here. And then you're piquing their interest, right? And ideally, you pique their interest with simple things that are relatable, conversational. Like, notice when I even said that about William, which I don't know a lot about William's business, but I just kind of, having experience in that niche with, working in the chiro field, knee pain, shoulder pain. It's that simple. If you're looking for a way to solve some of your knee and shoulder pain, we've got a solution that's been, beginning great results. We'd love to show you. Interested in a 1-to-1 10-minute conversation? Great. Schedule your time here. Like, easy. It's not like 14 sales page long sales letter. It's peak interest, then take them to the next step. And you could do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. There are certain campaigns with clients where literally they're doing, there's certain campaigns that basically they do, someone opts in for the landing page, they go to the thank you page, and they know they're getting a daily message. So in every daily message, they've got some kind of a peak interest related to a problem they solve for people, related to their niche. More offers equals more sales. But again, in a cool way, right? If you're putting a 14-page sales letter in front of people every day, you're going to chase them away. They're going to unsubscribe. That would be normal, right? So think about that. How do you keep it cool? Let me show you a quick example of a couple clients we're working with. If you have a business, have you ever known somebody that got hit with fraud in their business, either with their merchant account or their business, or got hit with what's called phishing online, where you clicked on a message that looked like it was from Facebook, or it looked like it was from XYZ company, and you clicked on it and now it downloaded a bunch of malware and, created damage and this sort of thing? Or have you had any issues with any of your tech stuff that went, the technology got hacked into partially because of malware things, or other business issues? Like, have you ever thought about, like Anita, if you're doing events, are you making sure you're protected in your business so that if someone has an issue or trips over a chair, like, you're protected to the best of your ability? How about cybersecurity? Are you truly secure with your business to make sure you're protected from, potential challenges and issue financially? So one of our clients is in the insurance business, and you might want to go here, and Phil can probably drop the thing in here, but one of our clients wrote a book. Book's a great tool. You don't have to have a book, and we'll introduce you to 21 other ways besides a book. But he wrote a book called 70 Surprising Ways to Create Higher Profit in Your Business. And almost no one is leveraging these little known strategies in workman's comp, right, for bottom line growth. A lot of people don't know there's a bunch of hidden opportunities for profitability in workman's comp things, and also that can grow your profits. So he wrote the book on it. And notice the page. Attention, who's it for? So the top line, restaurant owners, service business owners, home care. 70 surprising ways. That's the title. Almost no one is leveraging these. Get your free book. Enter your info, name, email, phone number, get the free book. Pretty simple. Now, the rest of the page is just meet the author, essentially. Could you create a page like that?
Do you want to be showing that on your screen, Dan? Sorry to bother you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. There's the page. Sorry. So that's the page. This page gets people to opt in at about 30%. So we're putting it in front of business owners. He's getting, 2 to 3 to 4 leads a day now, having historically relied only on referrals and only on manual networking, right? Now, when he goes to the thank you page, it's customized to him, but your copy is coming. Discover how to stop wasting time, energy, and money on workman's comp so you can free up time. And it offers a consultation right away. Typically, our type of model with this approach will get 5 to 10% of the people who opt in will schedule an appointment for the thing, right? It's just a book an appointment, tells them why to book an appointment, what they're going to learn during the consultation. It's not a strategy session. I would encourage you get rid of the language strategy session in your business. Call it a consultation, call it something else, audit, review, something of that nature. You'll be amazed at how that increases conversion, because strategy session is just outdated, right? So this is an example. Here's another example of a client of ours. She works with parents of teen athletes in high school, primarily, and some college kids too, and in middle school. So attention, parents of teen athletes, open up communication with your kids. Do parents struggle with their kids talking to them or listening to them, right? Or letting them know really what's going on? The answer is yes. So she wrote the book on Discover the Color Communication System so you can better understand your teams. Download the free checklist to get a proven system that improves communication, trust, and relationship. Get your 100% free checklist. First name, email. Do you notice some similarities in the page, by the way? Who's it for? Keeps it simple. It's almost impossible to misunderstand what's here. And then here's the best-selling author, Kathy Heelan, one of our clients, right? Guess what the thank you page is going to look like? Pretty similar, just customized to her, right? Equip your teams to harness their champion this season and beyond. Give me 15 minutes. I'll show you how you can build unshakable confidence and mental toughness in your team. Do parents want that? Do they want their kids to be independent, have mental toughness? Yes. There you go. Schedule a time. Again, similarly, 5 to 10% of people. So, and then that leads to her higher value services she offers. Mike, it offer his higher value insurance offers for business that he customizes for them. Can you see how this would work for you? Right? Ideally, you can. And these are just two of like hundreds and hundreds of examples that you could do, but it's all built on the back of this model, which is the lead machine we're talking about. Lead machine. Now that leads us to the appointment model, which I kind of jumped into already. So with the appointment model, you can run it through the landing page model, right? Or the lead page model, or you can drive traffic straight to an appointment page. So if you picture the appointment page modified slightly, and I'm going to show you a sample of one here in a second that we have, right? You can drive straight to that page for, essentially a lead generation as well as the next step, right? But it goes to an appointment. They book on the calendar, it's connected, and then it goes to a thank you page. And usually on the thank you page, you have 1 to 3 steps that you want them to take, like to prepare for the appointment, to prepare for this opportunity to speak with you, right? To watch this, do this, do this assessment. And then along the way, guess what? We're still doing follow-up, kind of to William's point a little bit earlier. You've got email, you've got phone, you've got text, and you've got remarketing going on. And again, you still have a warm-up sequence. You have confirmation emails the day of and the day before. And then you've got a text confirmation along with, you may integrate a phone message to remind them of what's coming, either from a team member, or you can do what's called a voice drop. That's an automated message that you just program once and it sends it out, right? Especially if it's an effective message, right? So let me show you a quick sample of one that we run directly to as a company. Is this helpful, by the way? Are you learning some good stuff here? Is it with the show and tell, right? No guesswork here. These are converting. These are working. These are things we're using every day right now for our clients. And notice, ideally, you see the simplicity in it. You see the simplicity, and that's what can make it work. So let me show you an example here of driving straight to a page. When you went to our page, breakthrough3x.com/apply, it probably looks something like this. I think this one is different slightly, but it's essentially the same concept. You want a custom plan, give us a few minutes, schedule your time. It's got some info about what to do, what it will give you as we do the review together, and then you schedule your time, right? And by the way, if you do want to schedule a time to see how we can get all of these kind of models in your business set up and we build it, manage it, can run it, all the sorts of things we've been talking about for execution today. If you'd like to learn more about how we do that, then go to breakthrough3x.com/apply. That's breakthrough3x.com/apply. All right, let's go to the next model. The next model, oh, by the way, people ask us sometimes, well, how does this work? So one of the clients that you may or may not know of, his name is Joe Polish. And so Joe runs a community called Genius Network. And Joe and I've been, lucky enough to become friends over the years. I think we're better friends today because I helped him grow his company by well over $10 million during our time. But before our work, like a lot of people, even though he had a nice company, a successful company, a profitable company, and also amazing assets to build off of once we started working together, he had a podcast, he had a list, he had a great reputation for 15 years prior to us actually working together in this role. But he described his business with elements of what he calls half: hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. And he wanted something he calls ELF: easy, lucrative, and fun. He was the one doing most of the sales. He was doing most of the hustle, and he felt stuck. And so after working together, we got a marketing system in place. And with this type of model, we grew to 100 appointments per month for him for Genius Network and his annual event, for people seeing if they qualify to attend. And his business, once we got it in place, had hockey stick growth. Joe mentioned that, it tripled the business, went from 67 members to over 220 members. They were selling out the annual event each and every year, right? What could these models done correctly do for you? So we've got connection campaigns, we've got a lead model, we've got an appointment model, then we've got a training model, a training class model. And this one, we don't have time to go into all the details, but you'll get a chance to get a snapshot of it. And you might even take a picture of it, which is fine. But this model, the way we do it, gets 300 and 900%, not relying on the webinar, not relying on the training, not relying on the challenge. And it'll make more sense potentially once we walk through this example. So again, you've got traffic, all kinds of sources. Could be word of mouth, could be social posts, could be paid traffic, and anything in between. It drives to a registration page. Then it goes to a thank you page. Again, typically the thank you page is pretty simple, and it may just offer step 1, step 2, step 3. Then you have follow-ups: email, phone, text, and remarketing. Again, it has a warm-up campaign. It has a text. It has confirmation emails. This is in the before the training piece, right? So if you think of that before the training, leading up to the training, 5 emails, 1 text in the beginning, 1 text the time of the training, right? And that is a good foundation for you to use for the time between when they register and when the training is. Now, by the way, if you run a training and you just decided to do a makeup training, like you do a training. Let's say William does a training on today's what it is. Let's say he said, I'm going to do a training on Monday. Well, you wouldn't do a 5-day email sequence for a training this Monday. You would want it to be in advance of the training. And then as people get closer and closer, you just cut some of the days off. That's all, right? But with paid traffic, cold traffic, where they're cold prospects, they don't know you, they don't trust you, they don't respect you yet, you do build the 5 days and you try to do it in advance so you can give them enough time to learn more about you and get it, warmed up that way, right? Hopefully that makes sense. That leads to part 2 of the training class, which is once the training is held. So now the training is held, and now we have a training process that goes 7 to 14 days typically. And this is where we see the biggest growth. So whatever we get, let's say we get 10 enrollments of whatever product or service, or even an appointment model that's being offered on the day of the training. There are always more people that register that show up. Industry averages, benchmarks right now are between 5 and 12%. With the way we do it, we usually get double, sometimes as high as 3x the number of show-ups with the things that we do, right, for our clients. But you're doing follow-up by email, text, phone, and remarketing. So the day of the training, later in the day, you'll send out an email message. and you'll kind of talk about what was covered, what the offer is, and invite them to move forward on the offer. Kind of like connect, peak interest. So it's the peak interest to invite them to the next step. Day 2 after the training and day 3, usually we're going to be incorporating either a kind of a repackaged email 1, or we're rolling in the replay, right? Now, I know it's been asked about the replay. There is no plan, by the way, and I don't know that I communicated this to the team. There's no plan to have a replay of this. So I hope you're keeping up. And because this is a much longer segment. If it was much shorter, we'd probably put it out as a replay, but there's no plan as of today. I might have our team convince me otherwise because of the quality of it and the information and all that sort of thing. But as of this moment, there isn't, right? So, but historically, if you were going to do a replay, then that replay would pop up for about 2 days in our model. Whereas most others will say, oh, we'll put the replay up the next day and then leave it there for 7 days. And whatever we get, we get. That's kind of their model. We put the replay up for 2 days on the offer page, whatever the offer page is, it goes up on the page. And then after 2 days, we move the replay page or the replay of the video to another page that we know where it is internally, but it's not available publicly unless someone asks for it. It's about piquing interest. Because if someone's excited enough to ask, we'll, of course, get it to them and we make it available. But we leave the replay page on the offer page for two days approximately, sometimes 3. And then we're rotating a new video in. This is part of the magic. And now what we're doing, because let's face it, do you really, other than a situation like this, historically see or find that the highest quality people who are really busy, you're probably really busy, and I appreciate your time. I know that's incredibly valuable. Sometimes that's way even more valuable than money, right? Which is why we do everything to give you everything we got in the time we got. But here's the deal with this. As you look at the most successful people don't always have like an hour to be on a training, an hour to be on a webinar, an hour to be on this, an hour to be on that. So if you don't make assets available for the highest quality people, you're missing them. And we say BS to that. So what do? We work with our clients, maybe like you, and what we'll do is we'll create different asset pieces that go in the sequence. So for example, instead of an hour, in this case, we're doing a mega training, which is multiple hours long total, right? We create a summary of that program of whatever. So it's the highlights. It might be a 3-minute, 5-minute highlight of what it was. We make it available. So now we send the whole list that registered, including those that attended and those that did not, with the offer, the peak interest offer. And now they get a new experience. Oh, wow, that's cool that William did that. Oh, that's cool that Anita did that. Oh, that's cool that Tana did that. Amazing, right? And we make that available for about 2 to 3 days on the offer page. Then we take that one off. And then guess what we do? We put another one up. And that one is typically something like, well, here's our frequently asked questions. Think of your 3 to 5 frequently asked questions. And now you record a 5-minute to 7-minute video piece that goes there. And you put it on the offer page. You make that available for 2-3 days and have your peak interest in those 3 emails going out. Then the next part is the most important thing, or the number one thing to be able to do. We create a 3 to 5 to 7-minute video that gives them that. That video replaces the other video. So now they're involved in a whole new series. Almost if you think of what Netflix does or the NFL is really good at, each week they have a new game, a new episode essentially. We're stringing together episodes to keep them entertained, keep them engaged, and keep them going, wow, that's amazing. Bill, William, Anita, Tana, that's awesome. And it engages them and moves them forward in it. And then here's the key. And you know this, you're high quality. You only need to see snippets of several little things, and it's built trust, it's built respect. It's given you confidence. You're like, okay, these guys are not a fly-by company. I've got confidence and certainty in them. And you might do this over the course of 6 months with different types of things you build into your model that ultimately people, based on when they are ready to solve their problem, that you're there. But you've just kept showing up frequently and consistently. And this goes back to a previous segment. How does this all kind of tie together, right? And then ultimately you get to a closeout sequence, the last 72 hours where you go, hey, we're closing this offer, this invitation down. We'd hate freedom. That's a video, typically on the page. The other ones are, they're basically sunsetted off to the side. If someone really wants them, you can send them. But you keep them engaged in this new opportunity, this new sequence to keep that moving forward and keep it fresh. And by extending the life, contrary to most people, and extending the urgency, if you will, with these new things. Because here's the other thing. Instead of fake scarcity, fake urgency that most experts create, every 2 days or every 3 days, we're taking these video assets. So when we say it's coming down, it is off that page. So when we say it, they believe it because they know they just experienced it 3 other times or 4 other times before. Does that make sense? Hopefully you start to see the wisdom and how it all pieces together and creates more of an authentic experience, a genuine experience, and also we call it HOP, humanized, optimized, personalized. It's like a tide that lifts the boat to shorten the sales cycle as well and helps you get more leads, more appointments, more conversion at the end of the day. And you might wonder, well, can I do this if I'm new? Well, this is a client we worked with, Bruce, and Bruce was an artist. And you know what they say about artists. And he had a big heart. He wanted to build a coaching program because he sees it as a catalyst, coaching people to use art as an expression of freedom. And so he wanted to create his coaching program, but he was highly confused and he was following like 5 different experts and 3 different tech platforms that he was just really, and we were like, time out, Bruce. Let's just help you, get this done. We asked him, hey, can you just run it? Can you set up a Zoom? Kind of like what we did for this segment, because we wanted to show you the simple version too. And he set up the simple version, just drove to a Zoom registration, much like what we did here for this small clinic. And he started inviting people. And we asked him, how big is your list? He said, oh, it's only about like 400, if I remember right. I might be a little off, but about 400. And so he started inviting. He had 120 people register approximately. He had 70 people show up for his first one. He did his presentation. A lot of the presentation was wrong, but he still got 3 or 4 clients in his coaching program that first presentation. And he was stoked. And when I asked him, hey, Bruce, what do you want to do? He said, I want to keep doing it. I want to do this every week. So he set up a weekly live training. That was his choice. He said, I want to do that for 90 days. And he started doing it on Thursdays. He drove his list back to it over and over. And the beauty with him is similar to the episode model we just talked about. It was his way of doing the episodes because one week he would draw a horse. Another week he'd draw a fox. The next week he would draw, you pick the animal, a bear. So he was teaching them the same fundamentals of art, but just showing them a different outcome slightly. The outcome actually was the same, but what was different was the animal that was getting painted. Does that make sense? You could do the same thing, all of you, as you roll this out. Long and the short of it is, his first month, he ended up getting over 39 coaching clients. In his first 90 days, he had over 117 clients in his coaching program following this model. And that's now scaled up, and he runs paid media and all these other sorts of fun things that he does, and has commission painting, and he's become more famous at all these sorts of things as well. Why not you? And again, I hope you're getting some good intelligence here. The next offer we'll talk about in short is that you've seen it. You've seen this 1,000 times. Amazon does it. The most successful companies in the world, they have an offer page. So they drive to an offer, a page where there's the product or service. And then usually there's a couple steps, like you enter your info for a first step, and then you go to what's called the cart page where you enter your credit card. And they do that. Why? For follow-up. Because what they know is more people are going to not buy than buy. So they create the 2-step model so that they can follow up and find out what happened, what was missing. Oh, what can I give you instead? And or they can take that lead and sell it to another company. We talked about those partnerships earlier, and create and monetize leads that they're spending money for. And you can do that same thing too with your offers. In addition, they usually slide in an upgrade offer, 1 or 2. And if somebody doesn't buy the upgrades 1 or 2, they usually slide in a downgrade or a downsell opportunity, don't they? You've seen this. Amazon's one of the best in the world at this sort of thing. They do cross sells. We didn't put all that on here, but you could do the same thing. Cross sell, upsell, downsell, right? Partner opportunities. And then ultimately, once you finalize your cart, you go to a thank you page with a few steps to access your product. Again, still having follow-ups, still having a warm-up sequence, still using the phone, still using text, still using automation. At this point, depending on the service you provide or the product you sell, you might even decide to automate sending a card like postable.com and use that as a tool so that you could even use your handwritten font and send them a card handwritten that says, thank you, you've made a great decision. Or a fulfillment center that would do that sort of thing for you to, again, humanize, optimize, and personalize. Have you been learning some good stuff here? William, you look full. You look a little full, brother. You good? All right. So coming back to Joe Polish, who's still a good friend. He also got the book here. He wrote a great book, What's in It for Them. And he says, if you're an entrepreneur trying to grow your business, it's vital to focus on getting and keeping customers. True that, right? Dan Kuschell's new book, Direct Response Branding. Dan focuses on the key elements you can implement to really help your business grow, from the 5 pillars of direct response branding, the right fit filter, which is in the book. William may have gotten to it, to discovering the ultimate pricing formula and the education-based event model. The methods Dan shares will help you create irresistible offers, work with clients you love, and grow your business. right? This is a book you can refer to, and we're unbundling a lot of the excerpts from the book in real time here together today as well. So what we want to do is I want you to take a few minutes, and Ken, if you can play some music, I'd like you to identify how many of the 5 current models do you have now between connection, campaigns, lead machines, the appointment model, education, training class model, or direct offer? And then what are the key steps you're not doing that you could be? What are your next focuses, and what are your key takeaways from this segment? So go ahead and put that together. What does that mean? You're not using any of these yet? All right, so write down which ones you are using. Which ones are you using, and then which ones you're going to be using? And then what are your key takeaways from this segment? Tana, go ahead and put your takeaways. I'd love to see those in chat as well. Key takeaways.